I used to stay at my granny's house. She was one of my favorite people in the entire world.
Jasmine! The people of Dallas deserve better than a fake ghetto hood rat. Do they know you're a rich kid from Missouri? Do they know you're a spoiled rich kid from Missouri?
No, ma'am.
Do they know? Don't touch me.
No, ma'am.
Don't touch me.
Get your ass
Don't
out here. Get
touch
your
me.
ass out of here.
Get her off me. Get off me.
Get out.
Get off me.
I'm on.
Get her off me first. Get her off me first. Yes, she
I'm
is.
standing still.
Do your people know you're a spoiled rich kid from Missouri? Get it! Get it! Get it! Fuck you! Fuck you! Get off me! Get off me!
Well, Jazz and I may have a few more run-ins now that she's announced she's running for Senate in the state of Texas. But a new report alleges Jasmine Crockett may have actually been tricked into running by Republicans. Oh, yeah. And it gets so much better than that. Just wait till you hear this. Welcome back to Come and Take It. This is the last one of the year, just as a programming note. So just note that. Make sure you're subscribed so that you can follow along with us in the new year as we bring you more from the state of Texas. So Representative Jasmine Crockett, apparently, since we last spoke, completely kicked Colin Allred out of the Democrat primary for Senate and announced that she is running herself.
You serious?
After, of course, Texas, the new Texas redistricted maps were upheld in court. And she realized, I guess, maybe her only play to hang on to any sort of relevancy was to run for Senate and then probably become an MSNBC commentator. I'm sorry, MS Now. That's right. The brand new MS Now, the totally unbiased MS Now.
Good one.
Will probably end up with Jasmine Crockett on their roster after this next Senate election. Now, I say that she kicked Colin Allred out because the way that it happened was just all of a sudden. Like, it was totally sudden, out of nowhere. She was in the race and he was out of the race. And he had also apparently decided to run for a state legislature seat instead. And if you live in Texas and, you hear that the infamous Jasmine Crockett has announced she's running for a seat in which every Texan has the option to vote for her. Every Texan, not just her little district. Not just her little district that was made for her in Dallas. Not just the Jasmine Crockett old district that she was able to win. The entire state of Texas. So when you realize the entire state of Texas can actually vote for her, you start wondering. Like, you especially start wondering what in the world she's thinking. Like, Jasmine, what are you smoking? Thinking that you should run for a seat in which all of Texas can vote for. And you really start wondering when you hear clips of her like this one.
So I had to go around the country and educate people about what immigrants do for this country, or the fact that we are a country of immigrants.
Right.
The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now. Okay, so I'm lying. Raise your hands. You're not. We done picking cotton. We are. You can't pay us enough to find a plantation.
Like, even the Democrats are like, we cannot, nope, we can't have that. So how does a person who says things like that expect to win in the general election in Texas? In Texas. This isn't New York. This isn't, I know a lot of people are like, well, but listen, no one thought that Mamdani could win in New York City, and he did win. Well, first of all, I completely thought that Mamdani could win in New York City. But second of all, that's New York City. That is Democrat territory. Okay? A crazy radical Democrat, a Muslim commie, can definitely win in radical Democrat territory. We are talking about Texas. We are talking about the general election in the state of Texas, a state that President Trump won just last year by almost 14 points. It was a margin of victory. The Republican margin of victory with President Trump's win was like the largest Republican victory since 2012. President Trump secured that. I mean, I don't want to sound like Jussie Smollett, but like this is MAGA country. Except I'm not joking. I'm not lying. It's not a story of some random men who ran up to me yelling, "This is MAGA country." This is actually MAGA country, according to the polls. So how does a person, you wonder, as controversial and as combative as Jasmine Crockett is, as a Democrat, expect to win the state of Texas?
You are out of your damn little pea-sized mind. What is wrong with you? Do you have any sense at all?
You start wondering, right? Like, where is her mind? Does she have one? I think we all know the answer to that.
I don't know. But some people without brains do an awful lot of talking.
But on top of that, speaking of the whole not having a brain thing, she has even said she doesn't even believe that she needs to win over Trump voters in order to win the state of Texas and secure that Senate seat.
How will you make voters who previously voted for Trump, particularly given that you have been an outspoken critic and he has inserted himself, just take your campaign video as is. He has inserted himself at every turn when it comes to your commentary. How will you convert those who are supportive of him to voters for you?
Yeah, I don't know that we'll necessarily convert all of Trump supporters. That's not our goal.
Do you need to?
Our goal is to definitely talk to people. No, we don't. We don't need to. Our goal is to make sure that we can engage people that historically have not been talked to.
That math ain't mathin'. That's like mathematically kind of impossible unless like Republicans just stay home and just don't vote in the general election, which is really not probable at all. And there is also no world in which there is a Trump Crockett voter.
Okay, that makes no sense.
Like, imagine, if you will, someone who went to the polls and they're like diehard. They voted for President Trump. Honestly, they even like, you know, maybe held their nose and voted for President Trump. Is that same person voting for Jasmine Crockett? Of course not. There is no Trump Crockett voter. Like, that doesn't exist. I mean, you have a woman who has made her career, or whatever you call what she's doing. She's like made her TikTok platform off of fighting with President Trump. How would she ever win in MAGA country? And so you start to listen to this crazy woman and you start to wonder what planet she's on. And you start thinking like, okay, so you're running for Senate as a Democrat. You're not what I would call mainstream. You're not what I would call smart, actually. So what's your play here?
What are the important things out there in Texas politics and Texas news that matter to you, and what can you do about it? That's what we want to bring you with the Luke Messia Show on a weekly basis for 20 to 30 minutes. That way you can get the information and go do something for the rest of your week. I look forward to coming to you every Wednesday.
What are you thinking is going to happen? How are you going to do this? What is your roadmap? And it turns out, this is so beautiful. I have a very low bar for any sort of like national Republican committee, anything, national Republican GOP. But it turns out the Republicans duped Jasmine Crockett into thinking she had this organic grassroots appeal, according to a new report from the nonprofit organization Notice, which is News of the United States. Here's the article here. An AstroTurf recruitment process. National Republicans propped up Jasmine Crockett to push her into a Senate run. This is where it starts to get fun, you guys. The NRSC, that's the National Republican Senatorial Committee, so all of the Senate Republicans, started including Crockett's name in polling and conducted, quote, a sustained effort to get Crockett, the party's preferred candidate to run against, into the race. So the Republicans got together and they were like, who do we want to run against in the state of Texas? I know. Jasmine Crockett, obviously. So this tracks. right? I read this headline and I'm like, okay, all right. This is tracking. This is starting to make sense. I'm listening. She was tricked. She was astroturfed. That has to be exactly what happened. I'm going to continue here. Republicans' Senate campaign arm has actively worked behind the scenes to encourage Representative Jasmine Crockett to jump into the Senate Democratic primary in Texas, believing she will be the easiest opponent to beat. In June, news broke that Texas Democrats Colin Allred, James Tallarico, former representative and three-time loser, thought I'd just add that in there, Beto O'Rourke, and Representative Joaquin Castro met to discuss the 2026 election. Operatives at the NRSC realized that Crockett, whose political stock had been rising, wasn't included in that meeting and also hadn't been included in any credible poll, so they decided to change that. So the Democrats got together, and the Democrats were like, look, who's it going to be? Is it going to be one of us? Obviously, Colin Allred and James Tallarico thought, yeah, maybe it's me. And the NRSC was like, oh, we need to include Crockett in these polls as well. We need to include her in the conversation because that, my friends, will be a very fun race. That's what they're thinking. So then following these NRSC polls where they put Crockett's name in there, they started floating these other surveys that included Jasmine Crockett, and it showed that she was like, Democrats were like, yes, Jasmine Crockett. Yes, okay, Jasmine Crockett. So the NRSC, loving what they saw in these polls because they knew her controversial, status, the fact that she is like one of President Trump's greatest foes in MAGA country, they were like, let's amplify those polls. So they amplified the polls, and now they're taking credit for helping orchestrate the pile-on of these polling numbers to really drive that news cycle and the narrative that Jasmine Crockett was surging in Texas. It was all orchestrated. It was all a planned event by Republicans to convince her. And I want to play for you. This is great. It's from her announcement last week. And she mentions these polls. She's like, I didn't include myself in the polls, but the polls found me. The people found me. I want you to watch this.
Many people wonder why I jumped in this race so late, and I just want to be clear that this was never my intention. This was never about me. I never put myself into any of the polls. Listen, my question was, which congressional seat would I be running for? And for Texas 30, I love you, Texas 30. Okay, I'm gonna finish. But the more I saw the poll results, I couldn't ignore the trends, which were clear, both as it relates to the primary as well as the general election. I could have played it safe and continued serving in the United States House of Representatives for as long as my constituents would have me. But I don't choose to do that. Because Texas, this moment we're in now, is life or death.
The more I saw the poll results, I couldn't ignore the trends, Jasmine Crockett says through tears. Like, she cried on stage. I watched this and it's actually, I have secondhand embarrassment for her. I have secondhand embarrassment for this woman now knowing it was all fake. It was all orchestrated by Republicans. They knew they could trick her into running for a seat that she has no chance of getting. I mean, I guess a minute chance. But they knew that she would be the best candidate to run against as a Democrat. And she stood on stage and cried about how she couldn't ignore the trends. I can't ignore the trends. Texas needs me. Texas wants me. And it's gonna be me. It's so beautiful. No, Jazz, you didn't put yourself in the polls. The NRSC did. That's why. That's why you were in them. And so they also said, this nonprofit said that the NRSC, so the Republicans, had allies that were seeding the new polls pretty aggressively into progressive digital spaces. So they're pushing them to all of these platforms, all of these leftist media hacks that they knew would run with it, that they knew they'd be like, oh, Jazz is our girl. Look, she's searching in Texas. Texas needs you, Jazz. Please run for Senate. It was all fake. You know what else was fake? There were several recruitment phone calls and text messages that went out to Democrats and high-propensity voters across the state that would urge voters to contact and advocate for Crockett to join the race. So they were pushing these people, pretending like this was a totally organic thing, pushing these people, hey, wouldn't it be great if you called Jasmine Crockett's office and told her to run for Senate? You should do that. Here's her number. Actually, stand by. Let me just connect you. Press 1 and I'll connect you to Jasmine Crockett's office. So you can tell her we'll make it really easy for you guys. And Jasmine Crockett's just going to sit here and be like, all these people just thought on their own accord to call me and tell me that they wanted me to run for Senate. A source said that was a really sustained effort that we orchestrated across the ecosystem for several months. Not only was it getting positive news coverage, but her office was directly having traffic driven to it in terms of phone calls, urging her to run. Now it all makes sense. Now it all makes sense. This I get. It was all orchestrated behind the scenes. It was all astroturfed. She fell right into the Republicans' hands, knowing she really didn't have a path to her current seat. So what was she to do? Well, now she realizes, I'll just try out. This is her audition for MSNBC. Her Senate run will be an audition for MSNBC. And now she thinks she's going to win. She thinks she's going to win without Trump voters, apparently. We'll see if Jasmine's math is mathing. It's not. And if all of a sudden, this Trump plus 13.7 state swings to a Democrat who, happens to say things like this.
I understood what was kind of pushing them there. And so I do want people to know that just because someone has committed a crime, it doesn't make them a criminal. That is completely different. Being a criminal is more so about your mindset. Committing a crime can come for a lot of different reasons.
All I have to say is game on. Listen, you guys, I just want to say one more time, being that this is the last episode of Come and Take It for 2025, I want to thank you guys for watching this year. I want to thank all of you for all of your kind comments. I want to thank you guys who have shared my episodes. I want to thank you who have, hit the like button, which, by the way, smash the like button right now. It'll help us in the algorithm, which we know is stacked against us. I want to thank you guys who have subscribed to the playlist Come and Take It, who have subscribed to Sara Gonzales Unfiltered. And I can tell you that we have many more things coming in the new year. I want to wish all of you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And we will see you all in 2026.